So you talk a lot about tie downs and the importance of it. Can you touch base a little bit on that?
You know, I think tie downs are one of the 3 things that's critical. And tie downs are just asking little questions along the way. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like that. There's a tie down. You know, you're seeking clarification on any kind of key issue or not key issues. Just asking little things along the way to make sure that you're at the same spot in your presentation, because a lot of salespeople just regurgitate their presentation, blah, 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 and beginning to end, and then expect that to work. Mm-hmm. But it doesn't really work. You know, we have to understand that people they'll tune you out. You know, so as you're talking, you have to ask little questions along the way, like little simple little things. Does that make sense? Or how does that work in your business? Or it's just little things to establish that we're in the same spot. And it's kind of like when they respond and go, it's them saying, yeah, go ahead and continue. Mm-hmm. You got to do it. And it's the people that make money in sales use these things. The people that don't. It's the people that succeed use tie downs. The people that don't succeed. It's just that simple. Mm-hmm. It's that cut and dry. But I think of tie downs, it's like that old Gulliver's Travel story where he goes to the land of little people, falls asleep, wakes up, and he can't get up because he's tied down with all these sounds and little ropes. I think those are like tie downs in Gulliver's the Sail. You know, it's an important thing to do. One little question, one little rope, one little tie down isn't gonna do the deal. Mm-hmm. Nor is a big close at the end. One rope's not going to keep Gulliver down, right? So these tie downs all over the place are really important, and all they are is the little questions. It's like, you know, it like underscores the power of questions in a presentation. You know, a presentation is just a series of questions, and you're leading them to the next little tie down, the next little thing that you use along the way. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah, so there's, you know, we want to make sure we're on the same spot. There's little tie downs. So you can use those things along the way, and it engages the person that you're talking with from whatever daydream they were on to where we are today. And it's the big reason that you don't have to come up with a big power monster close at the end. If you do your presentation properly with tie downs along the way, there's no reason that you have to come up with any kind of big close at the end. It dissolves the reason and the stress of having to figure out how you're going to, you know, practicing these big closes at the end. You know, there's just little things, and you've all heard them, like, you know, if I could can we do business if I can get you this on Tuesday or Thursday? Would for your business, does it make sense to have it in black or white?
Right.
You know, or blue or gray? And they go, oh, blue would make more sense to me. Good. You know, some people call them trial closes or whatever. I just call them tie downs, and they're nifty little things along the way. And it's like before I go out and do a sales presentation, I like to first call and set the appointment. Mm-hmm. And in this appointment setting little deal that I'm doing, I'll ask them a couple little questions, and they'll also, I know this isn't really talking tie downs, but it helps to say this before I leave and go out to the appointment, where I go, great, you know, I'll see you on Tuesday, and we'll get you going on this. You know, I always plant a little seed so that they answer like, oh, okay, we'll see you then on Tuesday. Yeah. So they're almost tying themselves down when I make that little comment before at the end of our phone conversation that just sets the appointment. And so it's tiny little things along the way that you can do that add up to a whole lot of success that has nothing to do with the monster close that everybody's been taught in the past. So does that make sense?
It does, and I think it leaves the salesperson knowing that ties into, what do I have to do to get this deal? If you're doing the tie downs along the way, it's going to direct you into where you need to be and what's going to make the customer happy.
That is so right, because if in your discovery process of the sale, you're asking them questions, mm-hmm. and at that time, like, you know, would it make sense to you to have something newer, or do you prefer this older piece? And they go, well, I just prefer the older piece. So as long as we got you service that worked on this, and you know, it's maybe a little better deal than you had before, that's what you'd prefer over that plus a new piece of equipment? Yeah, that's the one I want.
Right.
Oh, that,
there you go.
That kind of
as
stuff.
Simple as that.
But most people don't do it.
No.
You know, and because all they do is they don't ask questions like that because they don't practice. You know, and they don't think through. But if you just take a little moment and go, how could I do this, and ask just a couple questions along the way, it literally, it's the difference between, you know, 20 sales and 10 sales.
Right.
It's literally those little things that helped me double my sales. And you can imagine how it probably would.
If I could, would you?
If I could, would you? A wonderful little tie down.